Director General, Mr. Ose Asibe, which had been used to withdraw funds totaling a little under 2 million Ghana cedis from the said account. We have therefore halted the filing of charges so as to await the receipt of the evidence from the relevant state agencies, including the Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, and the Controller and Accountant General's Department. In fact, as I speak, the Bank of Ghana signaled to me that this morning they are going to deliver the entire, bank statement, for my attention. I am, however, thank you. I am, however, happy to announce that at least 8 suspects in this investigation have approached my office for plea negotiations, including 3 former officers of the National Service Authority. Some officials have offered to testify against their colleagues, and some vendors and service providers are willing to come clean and testify as prosecution witnesses. When you build your docket well, this is the result that you get. 8, people are willing to testify. Persons, they are not coming to say hearsay. They are not coming to give hearsay evidence. People who were involved, okay? And we are, in negotiations with them and their lawyers, as a precondition, I tell them, you bring back the money that we have calculated that you took, you serve as a prosecution witness. That is the approach that we are using. Now, I'm sure the MPP will be very happy for me to insist that 100% be returned to the Attorney General before any deal can be, cut.
Ebusiafo enu ntini sema wodi tudwa ewo dwumedie no asenene na anso kwa wosan edi tudwa bioma wochem se eye kwabna edubo ahena we former Director General edema eye National Signal Bureau ene ne ho kani eye Angela Ejay a omudi court sene abasa ende omudi court akoni abasa ya no woche sesese ade wode eye information kakansem kakra omaka fa ne ho no wodi nia ebetudwa ewo dwumedia ende due e course no eho ana Attorney General Dominic Ayeni wodi sansemo ina etu edwa.
I wish to provide a brief update on the investigations and prosecutions that are currently underway. Trials have commenced in the case of the Republic versus Kobina Edubohe and 3 others, and that of the Republic versus Solomon Asamoah and another. That is the SkyTrain case. In the Kobina Edubohe case, we are calling only 3 prosecution witnesses. Our first witness has concluded his testimony. But for the 3rd accused person's sudden withdrawal in open court of a lawyer's service, our first witness would have been discharged to give way to the 2nd prosecution witness to start testifying. We expect our 2nd witness to start testifying before the beginning of the legal vacation on July 31st, 2025.
Afọ ntini sema wodi tudwa ene wosan edi tudwa bi ma wo chese Ghana ha sei eye wo man pempi na wo kase odi boni asotwe ni ho Ghana otimi di boni na wafa ho edi wo chese bibisa eni ho no mu di hihaba sa akofo na wo di boni no wo mbehwa ma sa amra no eni wo mu edi ni ye papa wodi nsemwe enso etudwa e accountability series and dead day e course ne ho ana Dominic Ayeni a wo ye Attorney General e wo my Ghana ha no wo chese ansemu ina edify.
Are saying that you are cutting a deal and letting criminals walk must understand that, okay, even the legislative framework existing at the time that I was in law school, I was in final year in Legon when this act was enacted, okay, contemplates that in some cases the accused can pay restitution and get a non-custodial sentence. So if any accused person offers to come under Section 35, please, ladies and gentlemen, that is what Parliament has enacted. The Parliament of the first Parliament of the 4th Republic do not expect that I will be able to say do not impose. If once the judge accepts it, okay, I can make my representation to the judge as to why this is not a fit and proper case for restitution and a non-custodial sentence. Okay, but that can be rejected because the statute imposes, right, the power and authority to determine the circumstances under which that will happen in the judge, not in the Attorney General. The Plea Bargain Act, on the other hand, okay, imposes the power and authority to, negotiate the deal in the Attorney General. However, the judge has a role to play. The plea agreement must be endorsed by the judge before, it is accepted. Finally, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, about my intentions. I want to jail persons who have looted state resources, but at the same time, I am pragmatic enough to know that it is not in every instance that that is possible. In those circumstances, I will opt for non-conviction-based asset recovery. I thank you very much.
Attorney General Dominic Ayene wono anodin semwe ebetu dwa wosan HMBM say sika no sombo 80 Ghana cedis 80 million Ghana cedis a wo mutua edi free 189 million Ghana cedis National Service Scheme scandal in semsem no asasika no wo mutua edi to Bank of Ghana wo mukofes ni wo chese asasika no wo monsa mo fam sankaye na mo se ne be ya wo mbehwe amanu kwedie ene pepe ya kosunti asasika ne gusua eda Bank of Ghana ehwa wo mo ehwe se ne be ya asemi wo betimi akan wie krakwansa impenifo etimi ede wo monsa akasa asika ni nsem a wo san ede tudwa ewo dwumede nase no ebi enie
was due to be filed last week as promised when we stumbled upon evidence of malfeasance involving an account at the Bank of Ghana to which had been transferred an amount of 189 million Ghana cedis. Out of this amount, 80 million Ghana cedis cannot be traced. But we found 2 checks bearing the name and account details of the former Director General, Mr. Osei Asibe, which had been used to withdraw funds totaling a little under 2 million Ghana cedis from the said account. We have therefore halted the filing of charges so as to await the receipt of the evidence from the relevant state agencies, including the Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, and the Controller and Accountant General's Department. In fact, as I speak, the Bank of Ghana signaled to me that this morning they are going to deliver the entire, bank statement, for my attention. I am, however, thank you. I am, however, happy to announce that at least 8 suspects in this investigation have approached my office for plea negotiations, including 3 former officers of the National Service Authority. Some officials have offered to testify against their colleagues, and some vendors and service providers are willing to come clean and testify as prosecution witnesses. When you build your docket well, this is the result that you get. 8, people are willing to testify. Persons, they are not coming to say hearsay. They are not coming to give hearsay evidence. People who were involved, okay? And we are, in negotiations with them and their lawyers, as a precondition, I tell them, you bring back the money that we have calculated that you took, you serve as a prosecution witness. That is the approach that we are using. Now, I'm sure the MPP will be very happy for me to insist that 100% be returned to the Attorney General before any deal can be, cut. Now,
Ebusiafo na ne nsema odi tu dwane Sky Train case no so edo my Ghana hano anande Dominic Ayene wosan papa bi ma wo chese mra wo mo ekwa asetina wo July bosumne da etoso edionu miensa ewa afimpinu ni edionu enum no efa board chairman de Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund Professor Christopher Ameya Ekumfi ana former CEO Solomon Asama wo chese sa wo munsemi a wo mo ko ho asetina wo July bosumne da etoso edionu miensa ewa afimpinu ni edionu enum no wo mo koye no wo masan etu ahyeda wo mo de akwahye August bosumne da etoso edionu ensia ewa afimpinu ni edionu enum a wo chese wo mo ko aseten a de bebe bia no wo mema Ghana foina ason ate Dominic Ayene wono anosan ele nsemwe etuja.
we have concluded the case management conference. We have concluded the case management conference. It is important to add that, but for the change of solicitors and the multiple medical excuses of the second accused person, that is Prof. Ameyaw Ekumfi, and recently of the lawyer for the first accused person, we would have called 2 of the 6 witnesses by now. That notwithstanding, the trial in the SkyTrain case is expected to start before the beginning of the
Ebusiafo nunti ended day accountability series course on my Ghana hano eho ana Dominic Ayene awo ye attorney general ewo my Ghana hano wo de sansem we etudwa no sign edit to dwabioma wo chemu se ade wo de abetudwa wo chem se legal education system ewo my Ghana hano se ade wo mo asesa no foforo kwaye wo admission no wo modern sakare foforo ebe menu ebetimi aboa ama wo mo hyehyeye ene wo mani so ade ho no ebetimi abemu ade ama wo ni semwe ana wo sign edit to dwa ewo dwumedi a ndedwe course ewo my Ghana hano wo de to dwa ewo asie
with respect to the promise to reset legal education. And that is very, very important. And that promise is that we are going to reform legal education in such a way that access will be expanded. Okay, so that currently we have thousands of LLB holders who cannot get to, to become lawyers because they cannot enter the Ghana School of Law. All right, we want the bill that I have drafted and which is will be submitted to cabinet this month, next month, is to the effect that we are going to literally abolish the Ghana School of Law system. All right. Basically, what we are going to do is that you will have 3 years of legal education to obtain your degree, that is the LLB. After obtaining the degree, the LLB degree, you now do what we call either the clinical legal program or the bar practice course in the university where you got your LLB for another academic year. And then you write what we term the National Bar Exam. Okay, so everybody who has the LLB and who has taken the bar practice course in their school, in their university, all right, will be entitled to write the National Bar Exam. So it will be like what the accountants do, all right? Once you qualify to write the examination, the Chartered Institute of Accountants will administer the exam, and everybody, can write. And if you pass, you become a chartered accountant. That is what is going to happen in order to expand legal education in the country. So the bill, as I speak, in fact, is interesting that you asked because I forwarded the final draft to my able deputy, an academic, Justice Remsai, to review and then give me his input before we submit it to cabinet. That was just only yesterday that I sent it to him.
Ebusiafo enunti Dominic Ayene awo ya attorney general ewo my Ghana hase ni nsema odi tuja ende ewo accountability series na se no ana KFM TV enso yetwa ahomfoni kakra ye de ebetwa mu ye free sansem ne so de mo akonsem fufumu ende ana Ghana man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ye de edikan kwa wo launch a national business policy ewo my Ghana ha eno wo behwama ye agri sector no etimi akonenim ye papa wo dwumede na se no eye kukudamfo bebre na ebom homodin ekopie mu ase amampani John Dramani Mahama wo no so ebo anan ekopie mu ewo dwumede na se ne no ma bi sei ana ekoso ewo
I see. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, wow. Yes. And I'll come and see. Yes.
Ebusiafo no nti Ghana man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wono ana obo ne homodin ekopie mu wo National Agribusiness Policy and the day wo mo launch ye no kopie wo ase ne mra wo kodun wo den sem bebre na etudwa wo chese ade wo bebo ne homodin ama Ghana ya agri sector no etimi ejina ni nan so ye papa aboa wo my Ghana ma yesi kasem ne ye no ma bebre na etimi akonani man penny John Dramani Mahama ne sema wo di tudwa wo launch no ase eni
national protection. I'm pleased to note that despite inheriting a distressed economy, we have stabilized the macroeconomic environment through prudent and frugal management. This has laid a solid foundation for us to invest in the real economy, particularly in the sphere of agribusiness, where inclusive growth, job creation, and rural development can be achieved at scale. My passion for
as he officially launches the National Agribusiness Dialogue. Please put your hands together. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the National Agribusiness Dialogue 2025 is duly launched. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip, hip.
For Ghana man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wono ano launch National Agribusiness Policy wo my Ghana ha say na wasan edit to dwabie ma wo chem say sia de obebo ne homodin a onvele 11 new farmer service center wo my Ghana ha no so ebetimi aboama kuafo a wo mo so wo medjuma no etimi ejina ne nan so na bibia no kuafo no wo mo embobo wo mo enwinwi eno so ade bia wo susu se ode ba ebeboa ama Ghana ya agri sector no etimi ejina ne nan so ye papa ede amayema penny John Dramani Mahama was sign anyway etudwa ewo dwumede no ase.
I'm also pleased to report that under the Big Push infrastructure program, the Minister of Finance has given the go-ahead for the acquisition of over 600 pieces of agricultural machinery and equipment for the setup of 11 out of the 50 farmers service centers to be located in farming zones around the country. These tractors and equipment will not be sold to farmers as we did in the past. They will be stationed at strategic farmer service centers to provide mechanization support to farmers. And so farmers will have to register with the center within their catchment area. And when it's the farming season, if you want mechanization services, you go and they will provide the services to you. What farmers really need is not to own tractors and combine harvesters. What they need is the service of tractors and combine harvesters. And so let the specialized agencies in the private sector who know how to maintain these machines keep and maintain them and provide the service to the farmers.
Adeshimamba Ghana man penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wono anodin semwe na etudwa ewo National Business Policy and they course we won cramantem hase no ho anodi sansemwe na etudwa ye gina ni nsemi so na ye twa ye ho akwaje aboafon krato abaye ba nsem no edoso ye papa ye de bebre na ebeto aso e de ama.
Medobena mi Ghana duko doaja ple ho duko kata. Mi chonya nyi adevena mi cho Talent Microfinance Limited gajarupa. Mi wona susu savings, adishare, school buafo, cashback, ple bubwa okata. Nenyebe egajom de mi agbo la letie tomegbeko ateun aho gadodo. Kenenyebe egajom vivi la nenyebe o gahia ola ateun ava de ogai kene hia fa.
Tanenyebe mi foncho mi afa jom yo kenye mi afa gadodo nyawa. Business loan ele mi ashi church finance elemiashi, salary loan elemiashi, eye bubo li kenye personal loan. Nenye be foncho business loan enye gadodo ikemye nana asichalao. Nenye be washiba keke alum eleswe we have talent. Mi pepe gede nwo nenye washigba lesua ne woge wokeke gede ji to talent pomo nuome nenye be mi fonchu mi afa salary loan enye gado mo mi ke mi vuna mi afa jidudu $1 nke ga nyo he ya va talent wo pay slip pay bank statement ye kwenye nwi hia o na koko ho salary loan le rate mi to keke akeji church financier personal loan va nenye habobo masoli hama eji fufofo sankuo jitao olila ashibobwe kekeake mie flegeno na no hem v choji nto jinwade vare kwereka mpopo kai ganyu heya talent kuna kpohe ya ole chagbagba na do tare talent bena wo gado monwa anobobu enami akpenami
etibe ya nyafi ke talent la
talent microfinance jengo amegan shipe ape letina tejipo hotame
miape kapomo yenye 050-129-1298 alo 050-128-9119 talent woga kwamanu banto
Talent Microfinance, your channel of wealth.
Yo, I'm up for and I am Makwaba at the bar, a KFM musical shopper. The Tosum, you know, who free a Kumasi Macom that Damono, a sunny at the bar at Dumino, Sabran Udu, a Sambra Junction, Sambra Hotel, Quantana Sope. Now shop no any Sambra Hotel and the Dinja anymore. Would the free Sambra Hotel a wo sunny at the co Nankane and Hagan Hono, Annie, a ho and a KFM musical shop. The Tosum, you know, yet be in the fofro. Now the air can say, if you dear papa a timiche, the Odia sorry, the Ode grow agro ahudo. Tuma dear be a woody open here a young fiddy musical instrument piano, a KFM into a say Ghana Muntie Asante Mai Muntie a KFM musical shop. Anna Sabre Yabian for from Monochai. A war Pramper the 2nd Street. We free all men come down and now sunny ediko edumno and udu Sambra Hotel Quantana so now what done on Sunny Faso oho anas KFM musical shop yi ewo yani Sambra Hotel ana ewe animo ya twan abrebia
gina me say me proud and I say me dwa me free Kumasi edum KFM instrument store obi bisa sa se bo me fo de what to no we need see that what dey near my papa ejina wanim na what to say yes what to no bibia kan wakoma ni nyina free KFM instrument store Kumasi edum se mi gina ho na me to no ma bitimi nya ho me ka fi se fi papa mu anim na mi gina no wo betro ye ko ma ya do se kana twa nanka kanau ensamfu ayi
Ebusiafo yegusu mamwina kwaba edamasi se enyume mgusu etmu TV ho amhwe KFM TV News mekoso ekai wo se enyume ka se etwego ewe abe fontentam feed ne so Facebook eni YouTube KFM TV gye channel to betimi akohwe bi na wa share na wa like na wa dwenche ne so odi go ase amame kama ewo samede mo eto ansem ne so akonsem frofom dia mrahye bedwane a owo old tafo abato mpeso so Vincent Eko asafo awo no ana odi abetudwa wochem se sisi ade wo champagne for se boko ene ne important me ho ase ama ne hu so no wo mo hwe na mo fa hye pa engu kwam se ne be ya santokwe wo betimi aso ano ade ama ne sisi ade adorso dodo de ekoso ho no eni enyan enu to on de ade swede ana wo de to Ghana penifo enim ne sama wo de to dwa eni.
We are having a security problem. The state will have to take proactive measures not measures that on the face of it, it will look as if they are taking actions. And that's why I'm saying that you do not bring out a curfew when it is not properly coordinated to make sure that you get the effect that you need. What is the effect? The effect is that when you impose a curfew, people will have to obey it, and people will only obey it when there's a proper stakeholder engagement. Opinion leaders in a community are engaged properly so that they can also engage their people for the curfew to be obeyed. If the curfew is not obeyed, then you don't have a curfew at all. Okay. There is no imposition of a curfew at all.
Ebusiafo nti Vincent Asafwane sama wode abetu dwan yed mo e consent fufu mo enyu media yed mo kopie mo e wa santimantem e bia ye for se manso e tonto kum e wa santimantem na mani ba abetu dwan se sisi ade mente me ho ase amane ho so wo ho a wo mo chese e ye illegal mine na ekoso ho no enu ana wodu ni kopie mo e wo ho a mo chese e ye Amanhia South District e wa santimantem no e ye Asanko Gold Mines wo mo chese sisi ade wo mo abom ho modern sendie military personnel ana mo kofa mo ede ebego se ne bia mo beba behwe ama illegal mine ekoso ho no wentimi aso ano eno ana kofa sa mente me ho asi aba eno no wo mo echum se sia de wo sempenifo etimi etwa mo ani ebehwe on de ekoso ho no eyade a eni enya ye papapa ho
so wo mo dia sojafo no ba ye ne se wo mo se aban se wo mo baba sankofo ho bai na wo mo nsa se efra dubia besen kopem wo fia no no wo mo nya kwa anya wo mo dwuma anya toma wo mo se na hinefo na di asase no ma mo pani no se de di kan no banviko na ton ma wo mo ya hu wo mo license ya toso mi enu afa de wo mo se angry gold na aton asase na ma wo mo wo mo produce wo mo license a wo mo de ba ya dwuma no ne de banvi ayifo no ton ma wo mo na antimi ama ya mpa bibia tie bi abanti ase no mpa mo mo na ya de me fa kwanya we so asre ye wo tufo ama ministers nati ama natural resources for na so ate say akwanya we ya de sre omo meye license my grima nyamfa ya so bie ni antuma pamfa fura kuri nyantan ebe
soja de nyame anim no kure ni yampa bi wa ha because Asanko kuro ye 2019 omo ne papa bi ya friend Benvico ebe kabo mu ebe kunkum ni pa okrom ha e wa asase kuro na so asase nso anya asase mpa ibi etimi ye last scale mpo party ase na mpese obeka sa oba be deep mining e wo so enti ye de yasem nyina ne say yesra ban no sa defense minister CDS army commander omu nyina ya ban no crop ye wi a ye be petition sa mpanifo a ye bo omu die nyina nya petition president so
da Asankofo se omo ma ya ho nya ya hwe ma omo ho to omo ye Asankofo ye ye omo otontokrom ha ena godu na awafam ya esese obi a etimi yibie na so ya abibifo na ye godu ni bia enya ya na ana amrofo amramagi godu no afa kwa na ya de ya tra ahoyeyem ya se wotufo wafa ne nansi famra ma o mai totokrom Asankofo de ya no mu sia krom ha
ko wemu any the only community since nyandum na do omoto ba man this sa bebe sa bre afa ba bo e na bejo mo from nsem me so man pani say ye koso no yempe as party NDC yempe but in tell be share bo grants ho ye say Asankofo no omo mo kan mo ma give to man ni mu da enti e ba no say from be give to man ni mu
Ebusiafo enu nti ansemwe anankofo wo mo di tudwa wo mo ss mo de enya ade a wo mbehwe amasa wo mo gold mine di etimi efiri mo nse ho sa ye de mo efiri sansem no mo akonsem fufu mo dia eyare hosem enende enwumemede ebesum Ghana ye nyina ye nim de atoye nan so eye nyum tuni eye legend ba ko wo my Ghana Charles Fosu eye a wonya ni baby ko Daddy Lumba wo no ana meka ne ho asemi na eno anaid mu kopie mo ewo Fosu family a wo mo ewo nsuta a eno eben mampon ewo asantimantem na ebusu afo no echem se Daddy Lumba eye o mo de hye na mra wo free mo no wo mo de ade ayo ye papa wo mo hwe sempenifo ebetutu anamo ebepie mo mo na ase ede nsa abe catch mo se ade wo mo de hye eye Daddy Lumba wo daya wansɔre nsɛm wei ana abusuafo no ɛde abɛtudwa
sabi ahɔhoɔ mpo so na nyanya ɛso nwura fɛ nwura nwumrɛ yɛtena hanom saa wohwɛ mframa yɛfa ha yɛ awowom nso ne yɛtim yɛtena ha yɛ bɔ bɛɛ n'odu kɔbɔ du baako no sana yɛkɔdeda nti yɛso deɛ yɛso bi nso still a ɛnam sɛ yɛnya ɔfɛhyia yɛ bia nti no asɛ ɛyɛ nokora asɛ ne nokora kwadwo yɛabɔ ne wutaa kyɛ na bia yɛte na kwadwo awu na kwadwo awu nti wei no saa ne yɛafa no ɛnom amanfoɔ ɔka sɛ wawu na yɛtwɛn sɛ bɛnya konkreta yi no sana ayibi anamon bi wɔ hɔ ayɛtu charles yɛ me nua na asɛm no baeɛ no yɛate no mframa nti mefrɛ abusuapani nso ɔnso ɔntee nti metwɛn sɛ abusuapani bɛte biribi na nso de abrɛ me na deɛ ɔsi yɛ ne ayɛ nti sisi a yɛte deɛ sɛdeɛ motee no saa ne yɛate no yɛnya nti fi busuani bi a hɔ na abusuapani anya nte biribi a nti yɛtwɛn ha no yɛ numba ne maame kuro ne nana prada ha so mo die tin kura be tumi akɔkyerɛ ne nana na ti aha na ofiri na yɛtwɛn sɛ message bi bɛba yɛde yɛate nnɔpa nyinaa yɛso saa na me maame kura ofiri su ta bɛ ɛne nti na ɔbaeɛ
sɛ kwadwo dan yɛ awansɔre kwadwo nyare enti me nso so mesɔre yɛ no mantena ɛne sɛ mefa okara sɛ ne me so meba na me bɛn so na yɛdu kuro wɔ ha na bibu san sɛ yɛ nokorɛ me baeɛ wɔn nso sɛ wɔn atene mframa mu enti abusuapani nyamaeɛ no deɛ yɛgyidi nso yɛnyini nti sɛ yɛtwɛn sɛ abusuapani bɛba na wɔn nso de ɔsea bɛyɛ wɔyɛ na afei yɛn nso so obi ba ne yɛba ama ne yɛhu sampa kwadwo afiri mu nti sɛ yɛtete ha a yɛtwa abusua no na mo so mbaeɛ bɛto yɛ a yɛn nso yɛama ne yɛn no
ebusuafoɔ ɛno nti nsɛm wei ana fosu family a wɔn ɛwɔ nsuta a ɛbɛn mampɔn ɛwɔ asantemantam no wɔn so wɔn de abɛto edwa a wɔn ɛkyɛ sɛ si adeɛ wɔn hwɛ nim sɛ ebusuapɛni no nso bɛbɛ bi pie mu ɛwɔ wɔn n'ase na wɔbɛsi wɔn yie ɛno ana wɔn twɛn yɛgyina wɔn nsɛm so na etwa yɛn ho sima aba yɛ ba a yɛde nsɛm no yɛde kɔ edwadie mu. Ekwa edwedi ensemu de mu kopie mu ewa asante mantem eye nche bia anakwada so eye municipal assembly wo chi mu se eye jeni fo mo ho no wo mu kobubu wo mu nuoma wo mu stores ni ade ana wo mu ekobubu ni nia di free ho no ana wo mu ede abetidwo mo chese sesi ade wo nya ne ntie wo mframum se eye sa nuoma wo mu kobubu ina wo mu hwe na wo mu esi ni nia de amome no anakwada so onion market no wo mu de abetidwo mo chem sesi ade wo mu ban se won hwe na wonye bibi emfamfa saade we ho emom wo mu nsem a wo mu de tudwa ebi
na assembly no I relocate to mudum ko techimai ye de enim se ya relocate to mu ye hu ya ne se ye to aba abanse san ba ye no o masa aba anu nti de ya ba ni na be se hu de nti a o masa aba na ye hwehwe mu kire se he had been alleged say interior minister honorable Mutaka and the so much say umumra na the can say it's only the assembly and the better determine the use of the land asaseno e ya bind dia e ya assembly ni dia say see amene ka say onion sellers no e the application abeto assembly nanim say omu hwe say ye approve ma omu no omu use wa omu sia ye no omu ye meeting ye ka cho omu say assembly be sia general assembly meeting I take a decision. The decision lies on yen say ye be mo mabaso ana ye mo maso etini obi na be tranchen agasa na aban aba enu nti ye do mo baso by force. You cannot do that. O kwada sukuru ye MC die ye de kokobo na ye de bo no say oba ye na asase ne da ho say hu say Jennifer na baso it is MC person on ye transumdie o kwada so de a na assembly members ye mfa no ho adwembo na bi de a ene ono so nya de onkasa
and which and a presiding member at the Makwada so municipal assembly on Munyam for NS Frempon so any of you como.
And I mean, we know, yeah, the assembly echo court koje injunction because now the way I only encroach on yeah, police are yenya, Bibia Bekanche police, be a police intimate arrest. Meanwhile, they are report to case in also our police station. And Nunti, near my and is any Sadia, young court, near Kwaji injunction, ever met to assassin, as a send will be intimate coso. Yakwajidia, Obi Koswa, a court on the best supina, a police, a manako, aquacoche, say any pan. And Kofwe had a buy, letter a buy. Say, Yamon, Sasa, no see that was so many. Only by in 2 days of a weapon on one don't pay a cosiso. Nanny, maybe saying, and say, as I see assembly, no, I walk a friend is saying, lease, I was so. Obey to me call no more Jumana. Near minimum, and say, assembly no cross and assassin in Yanadia. Now, who quack or stretch a view of baby, as a so banana beji permit. Who may permit assembly no to me be a so baby to Adiana. Na campus assembly no ewo list ewo assassin so a eye dia obi ntimi engine free ni sem enti die na won hu a on ye sei enti ye de ho no won tere de me hu on so ye squatters at the right time no na yesese ye na eboa no ye be ye ma abo assembly no
Ebusuafo anu nti nsem we anampenifo edi abetu dwa ye gina we suni de dwade nsem no ye de ni aba na wie ye na atwa ye ho sima akwaje aboafo nkrato abaye ba ye de nsem no ekọ enigede emu
Fraba e dwaso ni o yanom e hyen a en use fuel we so yensesa oil ne wo hia ene ni key e hyen egumechi nyina eye lip moto Giomi anase nami eyemu bia wo sabeka wo KFM Limited e wo Ghana ha lip moto abefu cancer abi yanom emwedene sanso efe wa hwe interiors here ka hear me Timothy see and your friend on lip moto I was 3 modes of driving obetimi a switch so open temo a obe na sports mode so person will save you battery obetimi use economy mode na say won pentem na wo pe normal riding so a your friend is standard wo charge your battery within 6 hours a ebetumi do akokoma ase aba metre 310 kilometers enti woni how ubetumi so the 3 hours fast charger a charge na mana you full bonama na wakọ okuma ase aba say no me try the aka no Giomi ne awo hia ne key make sure say key ne ben wa wo hwese na interior on it na black and white papa so no FSN yo wa hwe screen tentin e bo ma hu car no battery aka na ma hu mileage nso e wo so when so the etu kwan 320 kilometers and sana was a charge. Ubetimi a charge in 6 hours. Fast charger ye 3 hours. A barefoot if we do so. Ubetimi a driving in 3 modes. A yes standard, sports, and now say economy. So what pentem to say me yanum choose sports was it. Ubetimi to quite fee hakokubasi. Ama battery ni biswak because a 320 kilometers. Who charge in 6 hours, which means your full battery. Now, when you fast charge and swap 3 hours, you're set. Making sure so okay in the car when you start walking. Will be a door and I start. Chili Giobi, black and white. Makuma swat. Man, some cow there. You check in the akana. Yeah, no. I bet for the animal back on you. The Awiano key. Making sure so key in the band when you start walking. We know F. Let a woman so dance. A gray ni your one who do me, the any hakakra, any dear mood. As also was screens me, wait, and more information and we are can in winning. Answer Bessia Bonum Papa, your friend entertainment, the Awiano, Anne. And that's over to me, so I drive in 3 modes just like the others. Standard, and I say sports. So open tema. Car way so. A bet to me to Kwaya Kokumasiaba. 330 kilometers. The chema udu crowd bet me Jesus no abonyum kakra ansa na edu Who charging the 6 hours, sir? No. So bet you start charging 3 hours. If I no fast charge. And you know now, KFM Limited. And they are big just so. Fraying, near me own sanka what the intentem. So open installment. A high purchaser. And train one nase. We've got you solid. Yanume, on sabet me a fidie mubia. KFM Limited. On sabeke fidie no. Na wechiano kakra. Wait, unyano bebia. Aji KFM Limited. Fraying, ever sort out.
Ebusuafo ye mamu ina akwaba esan edam asise enwumre mu guso etimu TV ho amohwe KFM TV news mekoso eka we se enwumre news etwego ewe abe fontentam fide ne so Facebook any YouTube KFM TV gye channel to betime akohwe bi na wa share na wa like na wa gyenche ne so udi egu ase amame kama mede nsem no ekọ enigedi nsemu dia wo July bosumene da etoso eduonu nsia ewa afimpinu ni eduonu enum na Ghana rehosem eto yeni ewa my Ghana yankase enyum tuni ye legend eye Charles eye Kojo Fosu woto anananum ewo nsedo eno aya rehosem ye papa ewo my Ghana miche Daddy Lumba neno ana Ghana ye creative art industry no wo mode abetu yo mochem se esanse papa na wo ye legend wo ye obempon wo ye ekukudam wo ye obi osun ye papa wo my Ghana hanti wo muntimi enhwe ne sa wo mode ne video night no ebe hihye so wo August bosumene da etosumie no wo afimpinu ni eduono ennomo wo Independence Square ho ana Jumedie kese we ebe koso moche se wo mu be hya se eye nwumre 6 pm no mo dia ba wie ye enwumre 10 pm wo Ghana ha wo Nkramantem ha ye Independence Square na sa Jumedie we ebe koso ho no nti wo moto nsa de afre wo bibia Ghana ni bia adofo ene wo apese wo nyom bebom sa video night wo moto nsa de afro bibia wo ho no nti Ghana ye creative art industry no wo mo so nsem a enwumre wo mo de abetudwa eno no ye free sansem ne mo de mo akonsem frifom de mu kopie mu ewo asantimantem abetudwa se eye bia tourism establishment biti se hotels motels guest house restaurant and drinking bars ahodo a ewo asantimantem a wo mo no requirement bi wo ha wo mo meet no eno anampenifo de abetudwa mo chem se sesi ade wo mo betutu ni na mesanse no ma ahodo bi a wo mo bisa de free sankrofo ho wo mo enfam by wo mo meet sa requirement no eno nti ehu behia se mpenifo behwe na wo mo atuti ni na mesem we anampenifo de abetudwa efa ho.
And will cover approximately 203 identified illegal operators across the region for a period of not less than a month or even more. So then you may ask, why are we doing this? Ladies and gentlemen, the aim and purpose of this exercise is to ensure that tourism businesses operate in accordance with relevant laws, regulations, and industry standards, as well as ensuring a level playing ground and fairness to the very many operators that are compliant. The various infractions or violations that this exercise seeks to address and regulate include but not limited to the following: non-collection of operational license. This involves facilities that have been licensed by the authority but have not paid their operational license for a period of 3 months and over. The license is issued and you are supposed to pick it up and display at your reception. There are some facilities that have not paid their license for over a year. You call them, they will give you excuses. Failure to display your license at your reception contravenes the law, and such facility is deemed to be operating illegally. 2. Unregistered and unlicensed tourism enterprises. This category involves facilities we have identified that are operating without any form of registration with the authority. This category of illegal operators are the most dangerous to patronize by unsuspecting clerics because no form of assessment has been carried out by any regulatory body, and therefore safety and security cannot be guaranteed in such facilities. In some instances, inspectors have approached some of these facilities and sensitized the owners or managers to regularize their operations with the authority, and for months or even years have refused blatantly to do so. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it will interest you to know that some owners confront inspectors with invectives and even threats. Such recalcitrant operators are a danger to the hospitality industry and must not be countenanced.
Ebusuafo no nti nsɛm wei ana mpanifo de abɛtudwa hɔ saa yɛgyina ɔmo nsɛm so na yɛde anigye nsɛm ɛne enwumre kaseɛ no yɛde ne nya aba na wie enwumre nsɛm no na ɛdɔso yɛ papaapa na nsɛm no de adi mo akotene ebie ne sɛnde ana Attorney General ɛyɛ Dominic Ayeni wɔde ne accountability series no wɔde gu kwan mo ɛwɔ my Ghana ne nsɛm dodoɔ na ana wɔde tudwa hɔ KFM TV yɛ so yɛde ebie ɛbɛsomo ɛwɔ hɔ saa enso ana ɛyɛ different traders a wɔn ɛso wɔ asantimantem enso ɛkyɛ mu sɛ ɛyɛ wɔn onua market a wɔn ebubu no wɔn asen ho sɛ wɔn de saa asase no ama nkurɔfoɔ foforɔ no so wɔn de adehyɛdeɛ ɛbɛto nkurɔfoɔ enim mpanyinfoɔ enim yɛde anigye deɛ nsɛm enso ɛbɛsomo enwumre Daddy Lumba ana creative art industry wɔn kyɛ sɛ ne vigil night no wɔ August bosome ne da ɛtɔ so mmienu ɛwɔ afimpinu ne aduonu enum no ana wɔn de bɛhyehyɛ so ɛwɔ my Ghana ha wɔn hwɛ nim sɛ Ghana ne bia ebetumi abɔ anan ɛkɔpie mu ɛwɔ dwumadie no ase ebusuafo wɔn ne nsɛm ɛne afoforo pii enwumre yɛbɔ ano a yɛde ɛbɛsom sɛ no nsi akaseɛ ɛwɔ KFM TV so aseda kɛseɛ nkɔmfama yɛ aboafo talent microfinance wɔn ɛyɛ sika krabia wɔn boa nipa dodo ma mo sika sɛm egyina ne nan so mantam edu nsia no emu nsia no talent fa abɔ mo homɔden edu hɔ a mo de hyehyɛ pa egu kwam sɛ edu na aka no wɔn bɛsan edu hɔ ɛde amo bibia enwumre yi wɔn so ɛbɔ yɛ twidom saa enso ana dadaba tech hub enso eton phones ɛne ho akadebia sɛ yɛ Infinix iPhone Samsung yam ne nia no kopie mu ɛwɔ dadaba tech hub akachi a wɔn sa ebetini nia aka bi wɔ hɔ wɔn ɛwɔ kaneche wɔn ɛbɛn takwa station no pɛ no ntu betumi akɔ na akɔgye phones apapa ne bɔ no so ɛda fam bɔkɔ ɛde ma KFM Musical Center enso eton instrument bi a sɛ yɛ combo guitar microphone speaker drum set ni ano kopie mu wɔ makacha onsa ebetimi akasa no mani nia bi wudwe ni kopie mu asantemantema wɔn ɛwɔ adum wɔn ni Sambra Hotel no ana ebonhwe ni wɔn kwamantem ha so no wɔn ɛwɔ Accra Zongolen obetimi akɔ no akɔgye instrument apapa no so ɛbɔ no ɛda fam bɔkɔ ebusuafo enwume dwumeko we adaroma ana ɔmobɔ mechi do ma me de kaseɛ bɔ mi de ɛbɛsom aseda kɛseɛ nkɔfama wɔ abibia otifra odi we fidie no etu KFM TV a wo hwɛ yan bebai signed up production team ni na aso ase sɛ ɔmo so ɔmo boaye ma news yɛ de ɛbrɛm me sorry so a ɛbɔ no wɔtwe pɛpɛpɛ a eno Kofi Adadevo enso the sports report ebeto aso ɛde amount okenkanfo a enwume ote me nka edin a megye so ɛne Maame Esi Nkrumah yɛ mamu nyina atwo